Your baseball exploit, your ball exploits ended up connecting you with a guy who's a former Toronto Maple Leafs coach. Tell us, or current Toronto Maple Leafs coach, tell us about playing with Craig Berube, the Chief, right?
Well, he's from a little town just east of, or just west of, northwest of Edmonton, Callahou, near the Alexander Reserve, near Morinville, uh, west of St. Albert. And his family, well, everybody, they pronounce it Berube now, but everybody called him Burby back home, Craig Burby. And his father, Roger, was a good fastball player, coached the local softball team, fastball team. And Craig, of course, was playing junior and then pros, and he'd come home and pitch every summer. And one of my late great friends was my catcher, Donnie Pompana, also caught for Callahou. And so I ended up playing for Donnie, and then we put an all-native team together. Donnie was a Sioux Indian from Brandon, Manitoba, Sioux Valley, which is where Zach Whitecloud's from, by the way. So Donnie put together a team. Donnie was very close. Donnie lived in Spruce Grove, was very close to the Callahou boys because he played for Callahou. So when we played against Craig's team, Amo Berube was Craig's uncle. He was also on the team, and then a bunch of other younger fellas, and Craig was their pitcher. And he threw hard, and he was very competitive, very fiery on the mound, like he is behind the bench, and like when he played.
Right.
But we picked him up a couple of times when he was quite young to come to native tournaments. One of the tournaments I remember that we picked him up to come to was when he was about 19, 20, just on the cusp of his pro career. We picked him up, took him to a tournament in Prince Albert, and he pitched for us through a couple innings. But I've always known Craig. Craig used to drive in from Callahou and train at the old Panther Gym that was run by the late Darryl Duke. Darryl Duke was the middleweight kickboxing champion, world kickboxing champion, and he also was the trainer for the Oilers at one point. He was their fitness guy, trained a lot of the pros, a lot of the Oilers during their glory years in the '80s. Flamenco trained there, but Darryl owned the Panther Gym, so Craig would drive in around 11 o'clock every day, and him and Darryl would go run the hills by the golf course, Victoria Golf Course, or the stairs, and then Craig would end up hitting the bag and doing pad work, and then go home back to the farm and then play ball that night. That was Craig's summers before he became a coach. He returned home almost every summer.
Well, it worked pretty well for him. He could handle himself well on the ice, no doubt about that.
Yes. Yeah. And now he's, and now I've never been a Toronto fan, but I find myself cheering for Toronto now because you got to cheer for the Chief.